to do the right thing.
Ah,
Sometimes we end up justifying to ourselves, oh, we can do this, and justify to ourselves.
yeah.
So for me, it's always about the intention.
That's very important. And I think you've given me a lot of dope to go into many things. But first and foremost, to understand you, I just want you to tell me about that young Karthik, because Murli is your father's name. So that's
Correct,
why
correct.
I was told that,
Yeah,
you
yeah, it is. In fact, when you think of it, um, when I was young, obviously in the south of India and especially Tamil Nadu, they always have your father's name as the initial.
yes, yes,
When I think of other cricketers, when you talk about R. Ashwin or M.
yes,
Vijay and
yes,
all those guys, it's Ravichandran is not his father's name,
yes,
or Murli is not Vijay's father.
yeah.
Sorry, Ravichandran is Murli's. What am I? Can we do this again?
No,
Apology.
yeah,
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 yeah.
it is not live.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We'll cut. Huh.
So when you come to South India, they always have the initials of the father just ahead of your name. So
Yes,
my name is M. Karthik.
yes,
R. Ashwin is Ravichandran is Ashwin's father's name,
yes, yes.
and M. Vijay is M is Vijay's father's name. So Murli Vijay.
Mm.
So people ultimately end up thinking that Murli is my name, or Ravichandran is Ashwin's name, or
Yeah,
Murli again is Vijay's name.
yes,
Whereas it's the father's name.
yes.
Ideally, it should have been after our name.
No, no, but that's the way it has been, na?
No, but I've started changing it. I'd
Really?
like to say, but the problem is, if I suddenly called you one day and I said, Lavina ji, this is Karthik calling, and you'd be, who's this? If you didn't have my name.
Yes.
If I say Murli Karthik calling, then people
Then
recognize.
people will know. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
It's all about how you. So I'm going to go to the young Karthik,
Mm.
but I'm quite interested in your kanthi, huh?
Mm.
You wear this. What is Tulsi?
It's Tulsi and Sandalwood. And I've been wearing it for 23 years now. It's the Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, ISKCON Temple
Acha.
Tulsi. And this was just before our first wedding anniversary in Bengaluru, because people nail me if I say Bangalore, so I'm so used to calling it Bangalore. The temple, they did a puja
Hmm.
and they gave it to both me and my wife,
Ah.
um, asking us to wear it around our neck. And they said it actually calms you and it's good for the system. So I've been wearing it for 23 years.
Has
And
it
I
made
suppose,
an impact?
yeah, once you get, you said, don't talk about wives. Once you get married, you anyways become calm. So it's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if someone told me I have a very problem, my son really screams at me. A very dear doctor friend of mine told me कि don't worry लवीना बीवी आने दो सब ठीक हो जाएगा मैंने कहा तब तक हम क्या करेंगे
Exactly. नहीं मेरा तो बहुत जल्दी शादी हो गया था ना, so I'm fine that way.
Oh. So let's go to the young Karthik. Tell me about him, the life, the growing up, and when did from pilot to engineer to genital engineering to then cricket.
So a young Karthik was born in Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have the AC, please? Oh, I'm dying. Please, please. Leave it as cold as possible. Otherwise, then I'll be bare chested and you don't want that side. Yeah, I was suddenly looking for the sound, looking for the AC. Sorry, I'll start again. So a young Karthik was born bang opposite the MH Chidambaram Stadium,
Right.
which is called the Chepok. In fact, all the siblings were born in one nursing home right opposite the stadium. And as I said, I come from a family where my father was a PhD in biophysics.
Wow.
My mom was a BSc mathematics, and all of them were so intelligent, but for the lack of funds, they didn't pursue many things. So both of them ended up becoming bankers. My Nana ji, again, a super intelligent man. You give him any subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, he was just an absolute genius. My mama was an MSc physics. My Mosi was again a BSc chemistry. Again, all of them stopped short of doing anything further because of the lack of funds. So it was that sort of a thing. And for me too, when from the time I went to school, started studying, till the time I reached the 10th standard, I can't think of a time where I lost the first rank in the class. So for my mom, when I started playing cricket, and when my father got me a pair of shoes which were 300 rupee power shoes, not even cricketing shoes, they were just those canvas power shoes which used to be available at that point of time. She threw an absolute fit at home. They had a massive row because for her it was all about, oh,
Studies.
Karthik, padai.
Ah.
And she said to him, I have not bought anything beyond a 50 rupee chappal. in all my years of working, and you've gone and got him a 300 rupees shoe. So yeah, so that is how it was. And again, we come from a very simple middle class family with great values. And as I said, my mom was an inspiration. My mom and my nanny were great inspirations for me because my outlook in life, the fact that I have led a certain way, my life is all thanks to my mom. She's no more. She
Oh,
passed away
God
when I
bless
was
her.
18 years old. But
God bless her.
the upbringing that I had, I think I wouldn't change it for anything for what she gave me.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah. So
So your mum, God bless her soul, she was not कि पढ़ाई कराओ बच्चे से, and
initially,
your father
initially, initially, but I think what my dad tells me is once I played a certain level, and I was playing at a decent level from I started playing for Tamil Nadu at the age of 12.
Ah,
Oh, and I continued. I played South Zone, then we all went to Delhi, and that's where her health started deteriorating. We were also in Kashmir for a wee bit when I was younger. Um, so I think when she was on her deathbed, and we didn't realize it because what had happened to her was that
how old were you?
I was 18 and she was
Okay.
45.
Oh,
Yeah, and she had just had a normal sort of an issue with hypertension and high BP, and a doctor gave her something, and she told her specifically not to stop the medicine without letting her know, her own GP. But mom stopped it without telling her doctor, and it went and hit her kidneys. So the kidneys started malfunctioning. So for 2 years, so I don't want to go there. So I think when maybe she felt that her time had come, my dad tells me that he told him that allow him. I think I should bless him with his cricket because I've just not been for it because of him being so good in studies. Um, so yeah, that is the time I think she said to him just to support him.
I feel that was very important for you. Her,
100%. I think obviously
her
nobody bigger
blessing.
than a mother for anybody, and I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
we just don't say Mother Nature for a flippant reason. There is a
Yes.
big reason behind it, and wherever she is, I know that all her blessings have been one of the reasons why I am where I am, and I am what I am. So the only thing was to get the green signal wholeheartedly from her. It took a while. I didn't know it. I didn't know it till the time she had gone. Yeah.
What is it that you said your mother and you spoke, despite the fact that it was longer, the signal coming from her, and your father came around to you being a cricketer quicker. What is it about the upbringing that you mentioned that has stayed with you and you say you've been where you are because of that?
So I'll tell you from a very young age, just some of the things which I was taught. I can give you, I can reel out. So look, in India, I'll give you small things. In India, if you talk to a girl, it's always seen, and I'm talking about the time I'm 49 now. So if you spoke to a girl, oh, kuch to hai. That's just a normal thing. My sister was sitting once with me, and somebody clicked a photograph, and they wanted to put it out as somebody's girlfriend. Can you imagine? That's the mindset sometimes we have. So at a young age, when I was in school, if I spoke to anybody, and I've been surrounded by lots of cousin sisters and my mom, Mausi, so I've never thought about it like that. So my people used to chedo me, like really make fun of me. Ladki se baat kar raha hai types. So I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and we used to go to a temple. And at 5:30 in the morning, there was a young girl who stood behind me. She was not, she was older than me, but she was a younger girl. And I was in line. I was the last one in the family. So I just went and stood ahead of my mom. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And my mom can sense it. And I said, "There's a girl behind me." So she said, "So what?" She said, "No, but people make fun of me." He says, "But who am I?" I says, "You're my mom. Boy or girl?" And I said, "Girl." He says, "There's no difference. We're all human beings. We're all the same species. We just have a few organs which are different, but apart from that, we're the same species. So to start treating everybody the same way." So that stood with me for life. That at the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
There is nothing different.
And it does provide you a kind of grounding, isn't it? If you're standing even with the prime minister or the best or the least of the world, or least, I mean to say, you just feel it's one person to the other.
100%. So maybe that is one of the reasons, as you say it now, I've never been in awe of anybody
Yeah.
when people have come in front of me. Maybe only Amitabh Bachchan.
Really?
Yeah, I was literally preparing myself like they do in a movie. Sir, my name is Karthik Murli Karthik. I tried different versions
When
of
did
it.
you meet him?
This was during or after the shooting of Pa. That's the
Acha,
first time in my life I ever met him, and
acha.
I ended up doing a show with him. So coming back to my mom, so um, that was something which stood with me for the rest
Yeah.
of my life, and
Very
also
brilliant grounding.
yeah, and I was comfortable enough to sit with her and watch, say, Miss Universe pageants when people were in swimsuits. I was comfortable. It was nothing, what should I say, embarrassing for me. She spoke to me as a mother
Openly.
should, very openly.
Yeah.
Just kept it out for me. So from a very young age, because I started playing the game, and she always used to say, you take out something from somewhere, you keep it at the same spot, you never have to look for it in life.
Yeah, my father used to say that.
And
Yeah.
once I started playing the game, she always used to say, the teacher has taught you something for half an hour or 40 minutes, whatever the time of the period was. You come back home, and however you might be tired, however tired you might be, if you can read it, it will be assimilated in your brain for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that actually helped me
Very good point. I think I'm going to take that for my son.
because it does. Because it's fresh. You've learned it today from your teacher. And once you go back and you read it, it's there. So that actually helped me because there were times where I was playing and I couldn't prepare the way normally kids prepare for games, for exams. I was fine.
You were fine. You were acing
I was
that as
fine,
well.
yeah, I was fine.
What was she able to see till? I mean, where were you when was she able to see something which,
No, I think she just saw the diligence. So for me, my father always says this, and I know that for myself as well. If I put my mind on something, I want to be the best version of it. So that is something which she taught. She always used to say, there is nothing wrong in whatever profession you choose. There is no disgrace in being a guy who sweeps the floors or the road or a janitor.
Yeah,
There
of
is
course
nothing
not.
wrong in that is something which I learned very early in life.
Dignity
So
of labor.
just because you are getting so much and you're sitting as the CEO of a company or something like that, you haven't achieved. Anything you do, be the best version of yourself. Be the best person you can be. And so maybe that is something which has always stood with me, that whatever I do, I need to be the best version of myself. And these intention things has always come from my mom. She was the first one who said, when you hit the pillow in the night, you should be able to say, I did nothing wrong. I was not able to harm anybody. I didn't harm anybody. And one more thing which we all of us had to do was, whatever we did in the day, during the day, I might have had a fighting match with you. I might have said something wrong, abusive, whatever. We needed to go and tell my mom what happened verbatim as it happened. So, that trust factor, that I did something wrong, I go and say it as is. So the next time, if somebody comes to her saying that your son, daughter, whatever did it, she can proudly say, no, this is what happened. I knew exactly the time as it happened or the day it happened. So that is something which has always stood with us. And also, I always believe that you never know when you've said the last goodbye to somebody. So we always used to communicate with one another. Oh, I'm traveling, I've reached. Small things like that, which we end up taking for granted between families and family members. And suddenly somebody goes and you don't know. No, we don't know what our time on the planet is.
right? No, absolutely.
Yeah, so, and the way things are going, you never know when you've said the last goodbye to somebody.
Yes.
So that communication and being in touch with members you love was always very important and paramount. That is something which I learned from my mom.
Oh, fantastic! I think what I pick is that grounding and being the best version of you. How did it help you, or did it help you when you were low at some point in your life? What did you drive, and how did you drive that in the moments of difficulty?
So in moments of difficulty, it's always easy to chuck these things out, isn't it?
Yeah.
These are the
You
first
could
things
tell
which
me
grow.
an anecdote as well. Maybe you felt wronged, or you didn't feel that maybe should have been selected and I was not selected. And how would you deal with that dark moment?
So for me, thankfully, once my mom went away, there were other people, not as big as her, but still my father and everyone and my siblings, everybody was around. So the grounding, it tests you. Sometimes it's easier said than done,
Yeah.
isn't it? When you think of all these things, when you know you have to be
Yeah.
this way, you need to follow this path where you don't move one way or the other, irrespective of whatever happens. But the world is not such. The utopian world, especially a dog eat dog world, people resort to other methods, and I'm not going there. So sometimes it tests you. You test your own principles. Do you take a shortcut? Do you stick to what you have known? And my mom, again, was a big believer, and the entire family is a big believer in karma. And that is something as a 49-year-old, when I mentor young kids, I tell them, I say, look, sometimes it tests you. It does test you. If a peer of mine or a compatriot of mine who started at the same level has gone ahead of me or leapfrogged me, then you think, what wrong did I do, or am I good enough? But that's where your principles and values come into place, that my time will come. It is my own script. It is my karma. I need to bide my time. And then sometimes it's a competitive world. It's an ambitious world.
But have you questioned that at all?
No, never ever. At least in the
Have you
past.
ever questioned that मैंने तो अच्छा किया था पर मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं
वो
हुआ?
हुआ है. That is something which I've questioned. Then that is something I've also questioned when I was much younger, before I understood many things, before I understood the Sanchita Karma, the Prarabdha Karma. I always used to say, why is it that those guys who do all these wrongs, how is it that they are succeeding and I have not done anything, and why is this happening to me? And that is when I realized, as I read more and as I understood life more, that listen, whatever is in store for you will happen. You can't fight it. I can only be, again, that is where you always keep telling you still need to be the best version of yourself. Not to say, oh, this guy is getting this, so I need to do exactly what he does to get it. No, I can't do that. There are things which, I'll give you a very simple example.
Yeah.
It's a very social media world. People do lots of things to get followers, and
Yeah.
and I've never understood. Say, if I'm a friend of yours, why do I need to put it out on social media to wish you?
Best is to wish your own husband or child happy birthday.
Oh, 50 years of togetherness and I can't love you more. Why do people need to do that? And okay, friends. Some of my best friends on the planet, whether they are cricketers, famous people, whoever they are, I've got their mobile number.
Yes, just
I can
call
either
them.
call them or message them.
Yeah.
I don't need to put a photograph of the two of us or, look, I know this person. I've never understood this. So things like that. So you might get 10 million views on it. But is it the right? It doesn't. So small things like that don't sit well with me.
But that's hard, in the world today.
That's why I said.
Karthik,
That's why I said.
in the world of social media, when your worth is gauged by the numbers and the
Yeah,
subscribers
you people
and the
end up
followers
calling
and the
you
likes.
based on how many followers you have.
Yeah. How do you fight that reality of life?
No, I don't. That's why I said it goes back to the grounding that I have.
Yeah.
It goes back to the values that I learned, that this is how I will be. Whether I get work or not is immaterial. Whether people like me or not is immaterial. There are certain values I stick by. If I know you, I don't need to do that. There are so many wonderful photographs I have. I'm a very private person, so I don't even put a photograph with my own little golden retriever. So I am such a person. So that's the way I have been. I can't suddenly change, and just because it has to be done, and that is the way of the world. Khana to wahi dal roti hai. Nothing changes.
I think the grounding and the tam-bram when you worked. Huh?
It does. So sometimes people don't like it, because in my life I've burnt a lot of bridges, to be very honest. When I was young, and even now, there are certain parts of me which, rightly or wrongly, if somebody says something wrong and I'm there and I feel if I don't call it out, I'm actually lying to myself, and I've not done the right thing. And in the process, you end up saying something which doesn't go well, which doesn't sit well.
But
and
in the world of cricket, that's a different, difficult
100%.
quality to
And
have.
maybe
How
I've-
have
that's-
you burnt the bridges there?
Many. Many. We can sit here for ages if I start talking about it then.
So this Tambram guy goes to Delhi.
We lived up north all our lives.
Huh.
We were in Kashmir for 3 years. We were in UP, Vijaygarh, Lucknow, all those places.
Yes.
Then Delhi, obviously. I think I've lived lesser in South India than I've lived up north. So I can speak Punjabi. I'm married to a North Indian.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Tell
yes.
me about your marriage. You said you married quite early.
I was 26 when I married,
No,
and
no,
I was
very
not
early.
seeing anybody.
Acha.
I've never had
How
a
did
girlfriend.
that happen?
I've never had a girlfriend in my life, so I
This
just
was
proposed.
arranged marriage?
No, it was a friend of mine from the school,
Huh.
and I just proposed marriage, and I just proposed marriage to her.
Huh.
I just proposed
What do you
marriage.
mean proposed marriage?
I just said, will you marry me?
No,
I was
no,
not seeing her.
excuse me. Go back. Go back. So you saw her somewhere? Or
No,
you...
I had known her from school time.
Acha,
I know of her from school time, but we were not friends during school time, or we didn't know each other very well.
Right.
It was post finishing college
Right.
that we got reintroduced at a certain place, and then the sort of friendship grew. We were friends for a while. Before, for me, and again, one interesting bit about me, which I forgot to say, was I never wanted to get married in life.
Why?
Something about me, I just wanted to be
And when was this? When you were 12?
No, I was for a long time, till maybe 21, 22, I was like that.
Really?
It's only after I met my wife, I got reintroduced, and that friendship grew into something. I felt, oh, maybe this is the right person. This is the person I want to get married to.
So you were friends, but there was no romantic thing
There was
between
no,
you.
no,
You
no,
were
I was
just
not-
friends.
She was not my girlfriend,
Ah,
if that is
okay.
what you want to ask. No,
Yeah.
she was not. She was just a friend of mine who was a friend, and as the friendship grew, I felt maybe this is my life partner. From not wanting
What
to,
made you feel that?
I don't know.
And did she say yes immediately?
No,
Okay.
no.
So then what's the story?
She asked lots of people, what is he like? So they said, oh, he's a very short-tempered guy and he's very organized and he's like, tas kamas nahi hota, and this, that, and the other. And then she asked the person, oh, is he a womanizer? He says, no, not at all. You're safe over there, because I never wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Never had a girlfriend. So like, wow, this is the guy. And now she says, I wish you had many girlfriends. And
I think this not having many girlfriends is a very underestimated thing.
Why?
I
Why do you
think
say
no, I think you should have. क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
nahi,
पहले
nahi.
experienced.
I'm good.
Okay, so you said how long did it take for her to say yes?
A couple of days. Couple of
Acha.
days. She
Couple
called
of
up
days
a
is
very
okay.
good friend of ours, and then she called up her own sister.
But what is it? She said, "हाँ ठीक है, ये ना he doesn't, he's not a womanizer. It's the guy for me." What was it for you in her that made you say?
Just
कि-
the entire person, just the
Acha.
whole person as she is, and she's not changed. She's very bubbly. I would say heartiest of laughs. You can hear her from a million miles away, and just the way she is. She's
So how many years of marriage?
23,
23, 25 साल होने वाले हैं.
25, and then 3 years of being a fiance.
So already 25. In a
25 तो
way.
हो गया, but again, she was working in Singapore, so I hardly got to see her.
Acha, long distance.
Long distance for 3 years. But I had proposed marriage. She was not seeing each other.
हाँ. So
मन
what,
बना लिया था.
acha.
हाँ.
And then stayed. So what is the mantra for a successful marriage? And many people would love that.
I don't know. I've got no mantra like that. I just feel if somebody says we don't squabble, that's the biggest lie. If somebody says we don't, everything is on the same page, I think that's the biggest lie. I think the most important thing is understanding. You know that everybody has got our own flaws. We all have our own failings. As long as those failings are not earth-shattering, I think you're fine. And I think a lot of adjustment. And I know modern day kids think very differently. I think very differently in the sense that this is the person I love, and I think the fundamental basis of anything is love. If there is no love, then everything else will go.
What is love?
I don't know. It's just accepting the person.
Acceptance.
Obviously, there are things where you are going to get irritated with one another, and that's why I said, if as long as the flaws are not earth-shattering, somebody's not a criminal, somebody's not doing something wrong, and I think being a sounding board and being a mirror for one another is huge.
It's a very hard thing to do, Karthik.
I think it
If
can
you
be
tell
done.
the truth to the other person, not many people, even if they are your husband and wife, are ready to listen to that truth and say, यार तुम ना बड़ा stutter करते हो या तुम बहुत बोलते हो तुम सही मतलब it's very hard for
No, I
person
think,
to take it.
It's fine for both of us.
Really?
Actually, I
Good.
think so.
Good.
Yeah, obviously there are times where
So love is acceptance for you.
100%. 100%. With everyone. I think with everyone there is a bit of acceptance. But I also feel with love with your own people, there is a bit of expectation as well, which comes. People say there should be no expectations.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
I think it's tough. I know Sadhguru will say something different, and it is tough. It is tough to get there.
So because you said karma, and the very the theory about that is attached detachment, and it comes from having no expectation. I personally do not agree with that. I feel, actually, who am I to disagree? But I can say ki, I feel if there is no expectation, there is no bond. If there is no bond, there is no relationship.
100%. Wait, same. That is exactly what I was going to say. That this is my father, this is my mother. if I don't have these feelings from my mother, I'm not going to expect that from anyone else, or from my siblings, or from my wife, or from your husband.
Yeah.
These are small things. How can you say I won't have any expectations?
Yeah. Okay. Got
मेरे
that.
को नहीं समझ आता वो, आज तक मुझे नहीं समझ आया. I'm not saying be unreasonable, which we all can be at times. But at the end of the day, pyar mein, or when you have that kind of whether bond, more, whatever you want to call it, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ तो you end up expecting from one another, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't
Absolutely.
understand. Maybe if I become a Ramana Maharishi, then
Expectation from your cricket career. Do you think they have been fulfilled? Do you think there was something that could have had more?
okay, it's for anybody. It's an easy place to paint a picture and say, "Oh, I've been hard done by." And there was a part of me, trust me, and this is I think is a wonderful story. And in fact, my friend lives here. The person who changed my thought process actually lives in London. What happened was, obviously, I played for India from '99 to 2008, and when I got dropped, I had just had taken world record figures, 6 for 27, which still stands in the history of one-day cricket, the best figures from a left-arm spinner. And I'd been dropped for the tour to Australia, and literally, and this is where the disappointment, the disgruntlement, and when I said I'm a very spiritual and a religious person, I actually brought the entire mandir down in anger.
Wow.
I lost it. I saw red mist with God, or the fact that my belief system. I said, what is it? What wrong did I do? Twice I've bowled brilliantly. Right through the series I've bowled brilliantly, and then to go to Australia, I've just played Australia and India. To go back to Australia, and I've been dropped. Anyway, and I was in that sort of a zone where I wasn't talking to anybody. Obviously, my wife was there, and there was a barrier which people couldn't go past. And this very dear friend of mine, his name is Pratik Sharma. He lives in London. We are from the same school, and he's been a friend all through my life. He was the one who actually changed it, and I'm so thankful to him for what the words he said, and that's why I believe that having great sounding boards who can show you the mirror and who can put in that right word at the right time is so important. So he came over home. I don't know. He lives in London, so he was with. He studied in LBS. In fact, he was working in the Citibank Twin Trade Center, and before it came down 9/11, just a month before that, he just realized I just want to take a sabbatical and left his job and came. So he lives in London. So he said to me, he says, "Yeah, I want to ask you a few questions, Karthik, and you need to be honest with me." And I said, "Yeah," in the presence of my wife. And he said, "Do you think you've had a good upbringing?" I said, "Yeah." "Why do you ask?" He said, "Just keep answering my questions." "Do you think you had good parents?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "Do you think your siblings are good?" I said, "Absolutely." "Do you think you married to the right person?" Shweta was right there, my wife. And she says, "Yeah." "Do you think you've had a good life?" I said, "Yes." "About cricket?" He says, "I can see the disappointment in you. As a friend, I'm disappointed for you, so I can imagine how disappointed you are, because this is what you do. You put your heart and soul and you want to be playing for India. And of course, performance is key, and you've done exceptionally well, but you got dropped. But stop looking up, start looking down." So I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What riddle is this?" He said, "Very simply, if you look up, you're going to see the Anil Kumble's, the Tendulkars, and the Dravids, and the whatever. If you look down below you, you will realize there are 6 billion people willing to give their left arm and left leg to be where you are." He says, "So, Shukrana seek."
Gratitude.
He said, "You just think what you have achieved over a period of time, where you are in life. If you look up, obviously, you're only going to see guys like them. When you look down, you'll realize that there are so many people who want to be where you are." And this was 2008. And Lavina ji, that is the day when I realized maybe in the first place, I didn't deserve to play for India.
Really?
I said, maybe God was kind enough that He allowed me to play for 9 whole years, to be part of a wonderful team, to do something which you set out to do, maybe not immediately, but as you started playing the game, maybe you didn't deserve to be here in the first place. Maybe you were not good enough to be in the first place, but God gave you the chance to play for India and represent India. So, what are you moaning about, or what are you disappointed about? Yes, you got dropped. Carry on. Take it on your chin and move on. And that day and today, I've never felt that anything wrong was done to me, because where I am, for anything, in everything I do, the clothes I wear, the life I lead, the people I'm surrounded by, God has been super, 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 super benevolent, I would say.
Oh, how wonderful is that? So, not only did you make mends with the mandir?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course,
Ah.
of course, of course. I fought with
How?
God.
You did?
I
I
did.
have fought with God too.
Yeah.
I have fought with God too. So he brought you back to God. There's another
No,
story for
it
another
wasn't as
day.
if I went away. It was
I
just that I
did.
was fighting. Like,
Good.
I treated him like a friend.
Yeah, well, we all should, and we all do. How wonderful is that? And then is that when you reinvented yourself? Something that I missed in my intro was a master of reinvention. In
Yeah,
a
you're
way,
constantly trying to
yes,
be a better version of yourself. And I
yes,
think I constantly have this thing with my sister, and she says change is constant. And I know change is constant, but change for the right reason is a constant.
yeah,
I believe in that. I said, if you change, it has to be for the right reason, not for the wrong reason. And I don't want to change to be a worse
yeah, yeah.
version of myself. So yeah, change for the right reason is a constant, and constantly I'm striving to be a better person in whatever I do, better reactions, better. So that's where you're
Yeah.
constantly fighting.
It's so I saw here that when in cricket, like your friend very rightly said, look at the people who couldn't get to where you are, and there are so many Sachins and Virats and Kartiks who could never reach where they could reach. I sense a kind of, but when you are successful as well, there is a huge mental pressure that one takes for either reaching there or not having reached there. Tell me about managing this mental health with sports. Do you think there is something lacking? Do you think we need to have more support? Just tell me anything on mental health and
It is a requirement, and I'll tell you why. Because as I said, it's a dog eat dog world, and sometimes what is the marker or what is the barometer? Is Sachin a barometer? Not many people are going to reach there. In golf, is Tiger Woods a barometer? Nobody can reach there. Michael Jordan. So take a Maradona, Pele. Who's the marker here? So what is success? Sometimes I constantly grapple with that question. What is success? So if I play 100 test matches, is that a success? If I play for India after all the hard work, is that a success? The fact that I played 26 years of the game, is that successful? Or is it only about millions of wickets, millions of runs? Only then people treat you as successful? So that is again a question which has been unanswered in my own head. I'm always trying to seek what is it that somebody is a very, very good guy, and somebody who might be a very good player, but he didn't make it, so he's a bad player or he's not a good player. So that is something which has been sitting in my head for a long time. And what happens with many of us, as you rightly said, for the Tendulkars, the Harbhajans, the Kumbles, the great players or the players who made it, there are lots of people who fall by the wayside. And I know so many friends who should have played. And as I said, maybe a big part of me felt I shouldn't have played in the first place. When you speak to many of them, and there's a tinge of sadness somewhere. And also what happens is, in life, people around you treat you for what you are, sometimes what you've achieved, not for what you are as a person.
yeah,
It happens. So if there is a Sachin Tendulkar, there'll be 20,000 people, and he's achieved it. There is a reason why they celebrate him. But the thing is, it doesn't mean someone else is not to be celebrated. But unfortunately, that is life. Such is life.
how do you deal with that? Is the point, isn't it?
Look, it's an individual thing. For me, I've just realized that I have to be as I am. As I said, there are times where, and that's one of the reasons maybe I've never been bothered whether people recognize me or not. This never phased me. I've never been bothered if somebody said, I'm really sorry. I know the name, but I don't know the face. It's a big deal. In fact, it's very good. In India, if somebody doesn't know you, it's one critic less in the country. because everybody is an armchair general and a critic. You might have played the game for 26 years, but somebody who's never played the game will give you more gyan than what you know.
I know.
And even he'll give Sunny Gavaskar and Sachin Tendulkar more gyan than who are you to tell? But they have never played the game.
Yeah,
Guys
yeah.
who have played at the highest level and done so much, they cannot talk about it. So it doesn't bother me. So how do I handle it? Makes no difference in my life. Again, it comes back to what I said.
Grounding and
That
the
grounding
better-
has been
yes,
great
has
for
been
me.
great.
That rooting has been great. Um, do you still want to achieve things? Yes, of course. I was very ambitious as a cricketer. I wanted to play for India for as long as I could, wanted to bowl as well as I could, do as well as I could. But again, coming back to what I said to you before, sometimes when things go the way they go and all the previously mentioned reasons, maybe I didn't deserve to play for India in the first place.
Don't say that.
So it just tells you that you don't have to take yourself
You're
too
voicing.
seriously.
You're the voice of the cricket now.
I'm not voice of cricket. I try and do a job. There's no voice of
How
cricket.
did you get to the commentator bit? No, I'm going to come to that, but before, I want to say, because you have played county cricket here as well, and I want to definitely ask these questions about the young who are dreaming to be Karthik, to be Virat, or whoever. What is your advice for them?
I think self-belief is key. I think the world is trying to knock you down. And if you knock yourself down, then that's the worst possible place. When people say love yourself, I don't understand it. I just feel that self-belief is absolutely a must. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who knows yourself. You're the one who's doing all the preparation, who's getting ready for the battle. And the world, there's always the target on your back.
It's very hard, Karthik, to self-belief when you're being knocked out.
That's why I'm saying you need to. You have to find those inner reserves from somewhere.
Where do you find it from?
Again, from the fact that at the end of the day, I'll still live.
Okay. All right.
That is something which I again tell young people, that be the best version of yourself. Try and do everything you can. Leave no stone unturned. But when you come back, at the end of the day, when you look at the mirror, and you need to be honest to yourself. Did I give it my all? Was there anything left in the tank? And after that, you can't
If
control
say
it.
yes, but it still didn't come to you, then what do you tell yourself?
Can't do much. You can only control the controllables to a
Yes,
certain
I know.
degree.
So what do you tell yourself? Okay, I gave my 100%, but I didn't get what
Today was not my day. It's as simple as that. Thankfully, in sport, you can come
Do
back.
you draw a line at some point? When did you draw a line? Because drawing a line is an art of life, I think.
True.
And it's survival as well. When do you know that now you have to draw a line? Karthik drew a line, said, I'm going to be a commentator.
Oh, for me, that happened when I was 38. That was my last year, and Kings 11 Punjab. In a way, it was decided in the sense that I was playing first class cricket, and all my energies till a certain point, till maybe 35, 36, was to make a comeback, because people said I was still bowling better than anyone else, but sometimes that age is the number tends to work against you. But at the age of 38, when I played for Kings 11 Punjab, and that was just 2 months which I would like to forget in my life. So maybe that sort of dictated, in a way you can say that maybe it's now time to draw a line under the sand or on the sand, and then walk away from this part
Did
of
it
your
hurt
life.
you?
Hmm?
Did it hurt you?
It
Or
did
was
hurt
it hard?
me. Yeah, of course it was hard. I'll be lying through my teeth if I said it wasn't hard, because it was hard. Because this is what you have done for predominantly most of your life. Gave up your studies, or not studies, I still finished my BCom honors, and I was doing my MCA in computer science through IGNU. But every time there was an exam, I was somebody. So I couldn't finish that course, although I tried doing it. So it does hurt you. I would be kidding myself if it didn't hurt me.
What
But-
helped you through the line?
Again, the belief that maybe there is something else and I can't go on for life. I
And
was
did you-
38. And again, sometimes when you look at some of the best players, and for me, Maninder Singh was my mentor. And how quickly did he have to stop playing because of different issues or different reasons? So God was kind enough to take me till 38. And again, when I quit at 38, it was also because I was getting these offers to do work in the media.
Okay.
as a pundit or as a commentator, as a broadcaster. And I knew even then, because we don't do formal broadcast work, we're not coached into being a broadcaster. You get a gig, you get picked up because you played the sport, maybe you can talk okay, and they
So
just
that
take
was
you.
another start of another career and
100%.
another learning.
100%. And you need to carve a niche, because here I am. It was not as if I went from playing cricket at the highest level to IPL or whatever. And then I went and did any domestic cricket or club cricket and found my way or worked up the ladder. I was straight into international cricket, talking about international games, talking about people I played with or against. So I was anyways there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way it was,
It was
but I
a
had to prove myself.
yes, you have always. Do you feel that we constantly have to prove ourselves,
100%.
even if
100%.
every day?
Absolutely. Because, see, again, it's like this. We have so many great performers, and we've always had great performers, and I'm talking about the entertainment industry. But you put 10 people in a room and ask them, oh, do you like Gregory Peck, Amitabh Bachchan, Denzel Washington, whoever. And six will say, person is great. And so is the case with any of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Everybody is going to like a certain style of commentary.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they're going to hate a certain style of commentary. Does it make the other person bad? No, it's just that you don't like that style of commentary. I might like Salma Hayek, but somebody else might not like Salma Hayek.
Exactly.
It's like that.
You have to work. So I want to. This question is for people because cricket is you could live in a country where football is the first game, but cricket is in the veins of those living as Indians and even otherwise. Tell me how is it different to play for a county as opposed to playing there? And if someone is here and wants to play for India and wants to play for county, how lucrative and easy or not easy is the journey? Tell me the journey. What should they do?
The journey is tough. I can tell you right away. The journey is very, very tough. Again, because you look at the enormity of the situation. Look how many people are vying for the same spot, and you're trying to be one amongst them. So obviously, it's filled with a lot of challenges. That is a starter. So you take that as a starter. The next thing is, what can you do? And I was lucky because from the time I started playing at a certain level, I had the likes of Bishan Bedi and Maninder Singh when I made that transformation. So for many people don't know that I started this game because of One Nation. Normally people draw inspiration from within India or from your own country. My inspiration was West Indies. My inspiration were the West Indian cricketers. Sir Garfield Sobers was my childhood hero, and he still is. And I wanted to be like him. So I only took up the game because of West Indies cricket.
Right.
All of them. You think of the Desmond Haynes, the Gordon Greenidges, Sir Isaac Vivian, Alexander Richards, Malcolm Marshall, Holding, all those people were my heroes growing up. And when I saw them playing, I wanted to be like that. Once I took the game very seriously. So I was lucky that when I made that transformation, and I was not a spinner, the left-hand spinner you mentioned as a left-arm seamer who batted in the middle order and bowled left-arm darts. So when I say right place, right time, I had Bishan Bedi, the great Bishan Bedi, and Maninder Singh helping me out at a stage where I
you
was
had a mentor.
guru and
Guru mentor. And
Guru
I
and
think
mentor.
a lot of people are lucky. You're definitely, that I would say is lucky
Lucky,
to have.
but also, again, a lot of grounding comes from my spirituality. Because Sai Satcharita, I don't know how many people have read. Sai Satcharita, Sai Baba says that you have to surrender to your guru. Don't question what he says. You follow it, then you will know why he said what he said. So for me, thankfully, I surrendered to two people who were the best in the business. Never asked them, why are you asking me to do this?
For some people, money is very important when they grow in. हमने बोलते थे ना, sports मत खेलो, पैसा नहीं है कमान. When do you start earning? And is it? How do you look at money in cricket or money at sports, and what do you need to know as
Again, it's
a career?
each to their own, to be honest. There are lots of people who are driven by money. I've never been driven by money from a very young age. Again, coming from a middle class family.
My question was, how difficult is it to start earning from a game?
It's changed a lot. You think of all the great test cricketers who played for nothing. They went on tours and got nothing. And you think of what IPL has done, think of what international cricket has done,
Right.
think of what first class cricket has done for many people. It's changed a lot. Obviously, IPL cricket, you play a few seasons and you're set for life if you're wise with your investments. Obviously, international cricket should be the driving force. Playing for your own country should be the driving force. And it is pretty lucrative. But again, it's not easy. It's like Sundar Pichai and Nikesh Arora, they make a lot of money because they've reached that level. But to reach that level, you need to be a very good cricketer. You need to ward off all the competition that you have. You have to swim against the tide for majority of your life and be the best person swimming against the tide. So it's not easy at all. Yeah, of course, you get there, and then when cream rises to the top,
So it's a struggle till you are at the top, and
100%.
till that time you
absolutely,
have to. Got it.
absolutely.
And difference in playing in the UK and in a county, and how do you get there?
For me, it was again county cricket. You pick an overseas player based on what you need, and obviously the quality. And at a time where I played overseas as an overseas player for the four teams that I played for, I'm just trying to think what's wrong with me. I played for Lancashire, played for Middlesex, Somerset, and Surrey. Yeah, so the four teams that I played, I was just plain lucky that I played with some of the best players around that time. And I played the whole season. So it is not like modern day cricketers or modern day cricket where they come in piecemeal, they come for a few games and that's it, they're done, they go back. You have to prove yourself for the entirety of your season or the entirety of a season. And also, as a professional, I learned a lot playing in England because you could be whoever, you could be the bee's knees, but you had to do well for your county to be rated by your members and your own fellow players. You could be the best cricketer coming into that team, but if you don't show it, if you don't prove it,
Wow.
they don't rate you. And I think that is something which I learned in English cricket from a very early time because there have been some great cricketers who have come. Whether it's the lack of effort, it's whatever, people don't rate you. You could be rated in the world, but your own county might not rate you.
Wonderful. So on this note, we have a High Five India section.
High
in which
five.
Yes.
Okay.
In which I ask you quick 5 questions and you give me a reply. It's not always rapid fire because running of time, it might turn out to be rapid fire. So it is High Five India. Okay. So brand India for you in a line or a word. Give a tagline to brand India.
Ooh, I wish I was good at these things. Brand India. A force to reckon with going forward.
Okay. Virat and Dhoni, completely two different styles. What works more in cricket? What
Both
kind
work.
of attitude?
Both work. Again, Dhoni, just because he's calm, doesn't mean that there is not a fire running in his belly or burning in his belly. And people like Virat, I can relate to because for a big part of time, I thought I was not good enough, as I said. So there was always that syndrome in me that I need to G myself up to compete against people, and you're just motivated that way. And Virat is built that way. So in your face, literally, you know that you're in for a fight. At the other end, you've got a very, very calm guy whom you're trying to figure out, looking at him, what is he thinking, what is he going to do. So both work. I don't think there is anything wrong with it. Both of them are as good as you get.
When you played in your team, your closest ally or someone who could be your comfort blanket?
VVS Lakshman. To this day, it's the same because, in fact, well, it's interesting when you asked me about my retirement. It was actually VVS who decided, in a way, because when I was 38 and when I played for Kings 11 Punjab, not many people know he didn't like the way I was getting treated. So he called up my wife and he told her, I think, have you had a chat? Has he had a chat? I don't want him to be treated like this. He's too good a player to be treated like that. So I think it's time. I think this is what will happen because he's 38. So
Who was not treating you well?
no, let's not go there.
Let's not go
Let's
there.
not.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
he was my comfort blanket.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it about, one thing about Murli Karthik that we don't know or that we have not spoken about that we should probably talk about?
Mm. Firstly, I'm Karthik Murli.
Uh, Murli Karthik, sorry. Yeah,
No, no,
Karthik
no, I'm
Murli.
just
Yes,
kidding.
yes, Karthik Murli.
Karthik Murli, what people don't know.
I do like Murli Karthik, by
You
the
think
way.
so? It
Yes,
rhymes
yes. I think
nicely,
it
is it?
rhymes nicely. It
Okay.
sits well beautifully
Because
in
that's
the.
what you've been hearing for a long time. What don't people know? I think people know that I'm pretty boring.
Superstitious you are.
Yes, I was when I was playing. I don't know whether you call it a feel good factor or superstition. I think all of us have it. It's just, I think it's a feel good
Is
factor
it
more
true
than
that you
anything
used
else.
to wear the same socks and do a certain routine in a
No,
certain way?
okay. It's not the same socks.
Yeah.
There is a story behind it. So if used to get new gear. Obviously, different teams and different years. Every year you come, there's a practice gear. There is a practice gear when you're practicing, and then on the day of a game, say if it was a bowling day, and there's a practice gear I wore and I did really well. There was a bowling gear which includes my shirt, my trouser, my socks, my whatever other paraphernalia. If I did well, that would become a bowling gear. So the practice gear would be the bowling gear day or things like that. So it was more a feel good factor. And again, things which I ate on the morning of a game, and if I did well, it would be the same. So if I had a toast with makhan and tomato slices and it worked well for me with a few badam or whatever, I'm just giving you
You do the same thing
I'll do
again.
the same thing.
Did it work though?
It did.
It did.
I would say
That's
7
how-
out of 10 times it worked.
Acha. What would you say now, sitting where you are, to the young Karthik when he was troubled? You can choose your age, 16, 18. What would you say to him now when he was in doubt or when he was in his moment of darkness?
I think I would say the same, what I've said to you. But the only thing I would add, which I'm still trying to add, is keep your mouth shut at times when you don't need to speak.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Since you have spoken so much about Vishnu Sahasranam, should we end with something spiritual? Anything that you tell yourself while going out there, or any mantra, any jap, anything?
So I normally, when I travel, there is a Shiva shloka which we normally say. It's called Marga Bandhu Stotram, so that your journey is good. And in the morning before the game, there is Aditya Hridayam, which I normally say on most days.
Say it.
It's a long one. So Shambho Mahadeva Deva is a Marga Bandhu Stotram. So whether my family or anybody travels, I always say it. Before they travel, I just say it for them. It's Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva. It's a long one. Balava Namrat Kiritam Bala Netrartisha Takta Panjeshu Kitam Shulaha Darati Kudam Shuddha Mardhendra Chudam Bhaje Marka Bandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva Ange Virajat Bhujangam Apraganga Taranga Biramo Tamangam Shrinkara Vati Kurangam Shriddha Samsevi Dangram Bhaje Marka Bandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva. It's
a long one.
It's a long one,
how
yeah.
wonderful. I wish you the
And
best.
Aditya Hridayam is very different. It starts like Tado Yuddha Parishrantam Samare Chintaya Stitam Ravanam Chagrato Dushta Yudhyaya Samupastitam. So again, it's a long one.
You
So-
do it, you pray every day?
Yeah, I do. Twice
Every
a day.
Twice a day?
Twice a day.
Religiously? Any particular Shiv or Vishnu or Krishna, or not, just nothing? You just play.
I pray for my family. I pray for the world at large. I pray for many things.
Oh,
I pray twice a day.
oh, how wonderful! And I think that keeps you grounded indeed, but the peace in you. I
100%.
think.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that is all I'll tell people. I said, you will live. And that is something which I tell young people.
Yeah.
And I say this is because there's a funny anecdote in my life. And I think I should not go without saying it. I traveled a long way, and this is 13 or 14. And my mother's younger sister, we call it Chitti or Mosi.
Yeah.
She was the one who actually brought me up when I was a very young kid, because the first 6 years of my life, since you asked me, there are things which come back to me which I didn't mention, that my parents were actually working and they were traveling. because of their transferable job. So I, just to have continuity, I was with my nani, nana, and my mausi. So she actually brought me up for the first 6 years of my life, and I was very, very close to her. So I think when I was 13 or 14, I must have traveled somewhere and got 0 wickets and got 0 runs. And she just brought me back to earth. She says, "You could have done this from home. You didn't have to travel such a long." Why did you have to travel so many hundreds of kilometers to get a duck and not get any wickets? Could have been done easily from home.
Oh God.
So that actually brought you down to earth. That listen.
Actually, we have to end, but I must ask you, when you get these moments on the field where you either do very well or you don't do, what happens in the dressing room? What is the gossip?
It's we all try and be the same, and I think that's where a good team environment is. That
Yes.
when you have that team
Camaraderie.
huddle, when you have that huddle, and
Yes.
I actually there's a significance to it. I always feel you've got an arm around each other.
Yes.
You got each other's back.
Oh, that's
That is
that's
what
very,
that is what I always tell people, that it's not just a superficial thing which is done for the cameras,
Yes.
because people can say the same thing inside a dressing room as well.
Yes.
Why are you saying it right in the front,
Yes.
in front of everybody, right in front of the cameras? And I feel there is a significance to it.
That's wonderful. I could not go in and speak to you about the brilliant Tam food that I love, from Vattakodam to
Vettakorambu.
Vattakodam.
Vettakorambu.
Vettakodam.
Kora-
I still am
Korambu.
getting that name.
Korambu.
Koda.
Not many people
Okay.
say Tamil.
Okay, go on.
They say Tamil.
Tamil.
It's Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu.
Like ZH. When they write it in English, it's ZH.
अच्छा जी तो
Vetta.
Vettakodam.
My wife can't say it.
Vetta-
Vetta.
Vettakodam.
Korambu.
Vettakodam.
Yeah, slightly better. Vettakorambu.
And the kotta and the palyal
Koot.
koot. You know what? You have to cook for me. Can you cook?
I don't know how to cook.
On that note, I think we got to do a high five. Oh, wait, where do I come from? It was an absolute brilliant conversation.
Thank you, Lavina ji. Thanks for having
Murli
me.
Karthik, I don't know whether you want to call yourself Karthik Murli, but I love Murli Karthik. Your father should always come before, because he came before you.
100%. You know, what's also interesting is every time me and him are walking together, and if somebody says Murli, he's the one who reacts. When he's not there, then I react, because I know people are trying to address me.
Trying to
But
address me.
when the two of us are walking, he's the one who reacts.
God bless you. And it was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Done it.
हाँ पानी यार पानी
मुझे भी दे दो यार पानी
अब
प्लीज
कोक कर सकते हैं
अब वो वाला कोक मत कर देना
अच्छा सुन मेरे भाई
गाना वाला भी गाते हो क्या आप?
नहीं नहीं बहुत मेरे को बस 2 गाने पसंद हैं और एक बड़े दोनों ही रोने वाले गाने हैं एक अनामिका का गाना है तेरी भीगी भीगी सी
काहे
I love that song
it's the most
and the other one is कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे that is something which I stand
that
by
I love
वो actually I wanted to talk about it मैंने किया नहीं पर
ऑन तो है कैमरा स्टार्ट कर
है कोई रोलिंग चलो कर दो हाँ गाना कर दो ना प्लीज
आपने मुझसे पूछा था ना
हाँ
you can maybe mix it somewhere या add it या कैसे एक
हाँ
ही
कर
जैसे
देंगे
चलता
ना
हाँ
उसको पीछे से कहीं कर देंगे हाँ इट्स फाइन तो डू यू लव फिल्म्स एंड बॉलीवुड बिकॉज ये क्रिकेट और बॉलीवुड का तो बड़ा संगम है ना नो
हमारा कुछ नहीं है it's just that because you've played the game so you end up meeting some wonderful people from that other
Yes.
side of the industry and I mentioned Amitabh Bachchan. I don't think I've ever been as nervous as anything in life and it's a great story again because for me at least I knew he was going to be coming and he was that was for the promotion of the movie Pa which Mr. Balki had made so I'm preparing myself this is how people just say movie mein dikhate hain and he walks in and that aura walks in before he
Yeah.
can he comes he sits right next to me touches me on my knee and he says I've always been a big fan of you. I don't know whether he said it to please me or whatever. I was like I was like trembling as if I'd arrived. And then he also put out a tweet 1 year later saying that me and Karthik share the same tailor in London as ऐसे करके तो बड़ा अच्छा लगा वो करके. But yes, I do. I've always one of my favorite movies was Ben-Hur.
ah
हाँ, it was
it's a
an
beautiful-
iconic movie.
any favorite songs that you live by
मेरे को 2 गाने पसंद हैं जो बिल्कुल बेसुरे रूप में आई सिंग. One
Uh-huh.
is तेरी भीगी भीगी सी from the movie Anamika.
Oh,
I love that song.
why do you like that?
And the other one is a principle I live by.
हाँ.
Is कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में बीत न जाए रहना.
Do you want to sing it?
नहीं 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 नहीं
थोड़ा
नहीं.
सा?
No, whatever YouTube followers you have will go away.
When have you got to मतलब ऐसा कब हुआ जो आपको ये गाना गाना पड़ा अपने लिए?
I have done it. There have been times where in a very, very close setting, where people can
No,
endure.
life moment. Life moment
No,
जो आपने
lots of
कहा.
times. It
Lots of
happens.
times.
It happens to us on a daily basis.
Yeah.
When people, like I said, when you're playing, 4 people will like you, 3 people might not like you, 3 will be indifferent. Same is the case when you work as a broadcaster as well.
Yes.
Certain people will like you, certain people will not like you, and hurl bricks at you. So which happens all the time. So
अच्छा, what is the worst compliment and the best compliment you've got?
first तो बहुत ही खराब सुनने को मिला है. So क्या फर्क
Which has
पड़ता है?
hurt you as well.
No, it doesn't hurt me. As I said, look, the thing is, again, that is where Sadhguru says something beautiful. He says, when they say nonsensical things, it actually shows many things about them, not you.
Ah.
So nobody should be wondering. And again, it comes back to the intentions.
And the best?
And the best was, somebody told me I look like a Greek. And I said, I'm not Greek, I'm Indian.
Ah.
मैं Greek god तो हूँ नहीं.
You're
गंजा हूँ.
handsome though.
No, not at all.
You huh?
No, I don't even look at myself in the mirror.
What?
Nah.
Why?
Honest to God, because I feel
Since when until when?
I've never ever. I don't.
Why?
No. That's why I don't have a problem leading a tonsured head, bal. Never been like that. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
You should. You keep looking at mirror for each other. People, you've spoken so much about people.
No, mirror,
looking-
not that way.
I know,
Yeah.
but you should, you are handsome, Murli Karthik.
Thank you, Lavina ji, but it's okay. You're saying like what Big B said. I'm a big fan of you.
Internalize it. It is true.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yup. Cheers.
बाहर एक छोटे से visuals हम ले लेंगे, just for the sake of some आगे पीछे B rolls ले लेंगे थोड़े से.
Just talking about your own self sometimes.
You're very articulate anyway. And Tambaram match the I have a very big regard for Tambaram. I love Tambaram. I love their food. I love everything.
I think I was born in literally sitting something.
सारे सभी सारे घर वाले सब वहीं का. ये कोक है ये. Interesting कोक है.
I don't know नाम रखने
My मोटे. अच्छा my mate. Sorry.
I hope it was okay.
Very good. Very good. I think you get good snippets from it. Then brought.
रवीना जी आप टंडन मतलब क्या पंजाबी हुए? नहीं आप बड़े हो मुझसे. रवीना टंडन या लवीना टंडन? नहीं पता है मुझे. I know. I'm just joking. नहीं but टंडन से आप पंजाबी.
हम लोग खत्री हैं, यूपी के खत्री हैं. और नहीं मैं नहीं पीती. पंजाबी सब लोग सोचते हैं कि मैं हाँ बट वो नहीं.
ऐसा कोई कमेंट किसी ने दिया नहीं. और एक ही बंदे ने एक बार कहा था कि you look like a guy you Greek. मैंने बोला no I'm not Greek.
आप ऐसे बोल रहे थे.
I'm not. From which angle? Which angle से? नहीं भाई सच्चाई. Okay, I'll give you another story जो उसको पता है. हाँ.
इस बार आपका वो चेंज करवाना है.
हाँ?
इस बार हम कोई बॉन्ड शीट दे रहे हैं, मतलब स्टोरी पूरी दे रहे हैं.
So I played so many years here. So me and my wife, and we lived in England. When we lived in London, we lived bang opposite Lords. A place called the Pavilion. You see that it's a beautiful looking in Abbey Road में एक बार and Swiss Cottage में एक बार. And then when I played for Surrey, I was bang opposite the MI6 building. So इधर घूमते घामते Selfridges चले गए. I have dressed as a tramp. I have tried to dress well. I have dressed in whichever way possible. Nobody ever attended to me over there. उनको लगता ही नहीं था कि कुछ खरीद भी सकता है इधर. And my sister, who goes in a simple pajama and a shirt, there'll be 4 people lotoing over her and working. I'm like, यार दीदी आप ये सही है.
I love it. Chitti. Chitti. She was 6 years elder to you.
No, my chitti is actually my chitti is my father is 76. My mom would have been 74. My chitti is 72 now. My
Chitti is
my
Masi.
chitti is Masi. Masi. My sister is 5 years older than me.
ठीक है इसके बाद नाउ कर लो एक कीर्ति पढ़ते हो बड़ी perfect very good thank you very much yeah absolutely you'll be very happy thank you
For what? नहीं नहीं मेरे को I was trying to think.
just take a little bit to go
That's fine, absolutely.
oh it's all still rolling there
Yeah. It's okay. All right, I'll make sure to send the files by tonight, yeah?
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Good meeting
Cheers.
you. Take care.
Where can I throw this?
Don't worry, just leave it there.
No,